Have you ever been called a party pooper just because you don't like surprises? What if I told you that your reaction has absolutely nothing to do with being boring? Today, we're going to decode the hidden psychology behind hating surprises and reframe it from some kind of personal flaw into what it actually is, a sign of a deeply analytical and active mind.
Okay, picture this. Someone looks at you, they've got this huge smile, their eyes are sparkling with excitement, and then they say those 5 little words. But instead of that jolt of excitement you're supposed to feel, a wave of anxiety just washes over you. Your mind starts racing, and you get this sense of dread. It's an automatic, physical thing you can't control. So why? Why do some of our brains react to sudden, unexpected events with anxiety instead of joy? Well, the answer isn't that you're boring or ungrateful. It's actually a really powerful reflection of how deeply you process the world around you. And this is where the big misunderstanding happens. Society is so quick to slap a label on this reaction. They'll call you a control freak or say you just don't know how to have fun. But the psychological reality, it's way more complex and honestly a lot more impressive. It all comes down to how your mind is wired. All right, let's start with reason number 1. This is all about your brain's deep, fundamental need for mental preparation. Think about what an analytical brain does on any given day. If you hate surprises, you're probably someone who is always trying to stay one step ahead. Your mind is constantly running simulations, preparing for different scenarios so you feel in control. It's simple, right? If you can predict it, you feel like you can handle it.
And then, a surprise happens. It just completely shatters all of that mental prep work. It rips away your sense of control and throws this totally unpredictable variable right into your system. So for a mind like that, this doesn't feel like a fun gift. It feels like cognitive overload.
So let's move on to the second reason, which builds on this. This one is about how deep thinkers process information and, maybe more importantly, emotions. So here's the thing. Your brain likely operates with what psychologists call System 2 dominance. All that means is you prefer to pause, analyze, and reflect, instead of just reacting on the spot. But a surprise? It demands the exact opposite. Yeah, it demands an immediate outward emotional reaction. All eyes are suddenly on you, and they're all expecting this huge display of joy or shock. For a brain that likes to take its time, this feels like being shoved onto a stage to perform in a play you never even auditioned for. And this is really the key takeaway here. It's almost never about the surprise itself. The gift, the party, whatever it is. It's about being forced into an instant emotional performance without any mental space to actually process it first. Now, the third reason goes even deeper. We're talking about the emotional layer that involves your actual nervous system. See, highly observant people are naturally taking in a massive amount of detail, subtle tones in someone's voice, micro-expressions on their face. Your brain is constantly processing data. So to function properly, it needs stability, or what we could call cognitive quiet. A surprise is, well, it's the opposite of quiet, isn't it? It's a loud, sudden spike of stimulation. And even if it's a good surprise, it still messes with your emotional balance, spikes your stress hormones, and throws your carefully regulated nervous system completely off track. You prefer peace because your mind is already active enough on its own. And finally, for some of us, there might be an even deeper reason, one that's rooted in learned associations from past experiences. Psychology shows that if you grew up in an environment that was inconsistent or difficult, your brain may have learned to associate sudden, unpredictable changes with a loss of safety or with impending danger. So today, even when everything's fine, your brain might associate unpredictability with a threat. You're not being negative. Your nervous system is just being highly protective of the piece you've worked so hard to build. So the next time someone tries to surprise you and gets annoyed at your reaction, I want you to stop feeling guilty. Let's reframe this whole thing not as a flaw, but as what it is, a hidden strength. You are not a party pooper. You are not a control freak. You simply have a mind that values intention, that prefers deep processing, and excels at emotional regulation. You like to walk through life with your eyes wide open, mentally prepared for what's next. And you know what? There is an incredible amount of strength in that. Let this idea really sink in. For a mind that's always thinking, analyzing, and creating, predictability isn't a cage. It's the clean, stable canvas you need to do your best work. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. What would change for you if you stop seeing traits like this as flaws and instead started seeing them as instructions. Instructions for how to build a life that truly fits the way your unique mind works.